GTS review. Low freezing here in Minnesota. We're going to start off with a couple hill tests.
Bumpy grass, covered with snow.
I've made a few attempts to get up this hill on the GT and never made it. It's possible if you pick your line right, but there's a lot of divots, but the divots and holes didn't seem to matter as much for the GTS.
Well, had to zigzag a bit, but it's done it.
I've made it up this hill every single time I've tried it with the GTS. I even rode up it while kids and their parents were sliding down it. First try. Some of the gear I'm wearing, I wear a variety of gear, so I don't wear this all the time, but this is what I was wearing the day I filmed this. And here we got another hill starting out on an incline, which one person on social media said is technically impossible, but it's clearly possible. This is a pretty steep hill. It's below freezing. GTS makes it, starting from a dead stop.
That's how much power it has.
Another hill the GTS easily crushes. This is a piece of cake, frankly. I did it a couple times this day, and I think probably a couple different modes, or different custom shaping settings, and different modes.
So cold it is out there.
The GTS rips, no question about it. Everything you've heard about how well it does off-road is true. Even here in Minnesota, when it's below freezing, this thing is nimble and quick. It's powerful. Some pretty rocky, chunky stuff here. And I don't have that many miles on here. Not yet. I'm climbing up a hill here. This was recently cleaned out. They did a pretty good job of cleaning all this area, all the garbage out of here. Gamehaven is still under development, so the trails aren't anywhere near as smooth as like Windman, for instance. But the GTS handles them fine. In fact, better than the GT handles them, and way better than the XR handles them. No problems. So no problems climbing hills with GTS. Wiped out on this corner on my GT last time I took it, so I'm pretty happy to not have wiped out on my GTS. I actually forgot this tree root was there, and I hit it dead on without de-weighting, and this GTS pulled me right up over it. That was kind of a surprise. I thought if I was on my GT, I probably would have gone down. I can't say enough how nimble and quick the GTS is. Frankly, it's just awesome. It's about 2 pounds lighter than the GT, and you might not think that's a big deal, but you gotta carry it down a couple hallways, you notice that. Another advantage the GTS has over the GT is the haptic buzz threshold has been raised from a 20 to 25, so I hardly have to hear haptic buzz anymore, which for me is great. I just love cruising on the GTS. Even if I'm freezing to death, my fingers are numb, I don't want to stop riding. I just want to keep on going and going. And the only thing that usually stops me is battery percentage gets down and I got to go back. Trail I have never been on before, and I think is brand spanking new. Actually, it's just a quick loop that goes back to path, which I do know, so it wasn't much of a new trail. I did a lot of playing around with the custom shaping, and you can't see it quite here. You'll be able to see it coming out, but I'm not in the mode I think I am, and that's going to cause me a problem. I remember thinking, this doesn't feel like Apex. Yeah, you can see right there, my nose is raised quite a bit, and that's partly why this happens. I'm in what you might call a fully involved panic at this moment. Because of this, and my board is not badgered. I actually edited out everything I was saying right now because there are so many expletives. I just had to censor myself so I could put this on social media. And this is exactly why you badger your boards. That's where my OneWheel just rolled down there. All in all, I really just love ripping on this GTS. I mean, it's wow. I'm impressed. I'm totally impressed. The one thing I have an issue with is the foot pad. The foot pad just isn't that responsive right out of the box. You have to break it in. And that could take some time if you only break it in by riding. Changing the grip tape is also a good way to break in your foot pad, but why you shouldn't have to change your grip tape right away. Anyways, I came up with a solution that has worked for me, and I hope it works for you here. So I took a 10-pound medicine ball and rolled it all over the foot pad. I actually put it on the floor and used both hands. I'm just doing it one-handed here for demonstration purposes. On the right, you can see that my worst riding shoes are now being detected by the foot pad. So it's been very successful. I have not had a false start since I did this. So I hope it works for you. Future Motion, you should do this in the factory. Custom shaping is pretty awesome. Just be careful you don't overdo it. That's part of the reason I wiped out in this video is I'd messed around with custom shaping too much, and then when I swiped with my touchscreen gloves, I didn't swipe to the mode I thought I swiped to because the touchscreen glove didn't register one of the swipes, and because I'd messed around with the settings too much, I didn't recognize that I was not in the mode I thought I was in right away. So just be careful of that, and happy trails.